Okay, lovely folks. This is basically a part 5 of the CPS investigator. It's like an hour interview, so I tried to make it split up into sections while I talk, because otherwise it would probably wind up being close to hour and a half, 2 hours long. And so I broke it down into sections, and I might have to put it in the description box of one of those CPS videos, because the title took up most of the characters for the title. So basically, the other one is basically showing how Alex Schmidt, and Portland CPS DHS investigator, was okay with me sharing about how I saw that my son, when I picked up my son when he was being taken care of by my sisters, there was razor slices on his back in a row, at least 10 of them on one side, 5 to 10 of them between, it might have been 6 to 8, but I'm so, just because I can't remember. And that spot, it was dark around there when it was healing, and you could, if someone had a laser or something, you could see not the lacerations, or where the slices were. And I still see that there were two scars, like it looked like they did two scars on each side of his shoulders. One, like one set of razor slices on one shoulder blade, and on the other side the same thing. And then down towards his middle of his back, towards the lower back tailbone area, he had like 5 to 10 slices on one side, 5 to 10 slices on the other side. And I'm pretty sure it was more than 5, because they were so skinny and they were just going up the back, and it was in a line like somebody was slicing him. And I said, my poor baby, he was sitting there like they were. It's not an illusion. It's not something I just made up. It's literally, it was on his back. Every day that I looked at his back, I saw those slices. So it's not just some illusion that I just saw that, and I'm not delusional. I put cream on his back. I was feeling sorry because I wasn't there, and I don't know if he was asleep or if they had given him medicine, what they did. To me, it looked like some sort of rituals performed, because why would you do it like that on his back? Slice, 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 one side. Slice, 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 the other side. And it was more slices than that. And then on the shoulders, slice, slice, the other shoulder, slice, slice. That's not fair. What did he do to you? You bastards. And that's just being polite, using that word. That's nothing. You dirty, dirty birds. So anyways, and my son, he's back to his normal self. He wasn't even himself when he was with you people, in the custody of DHS with my family. And then I tell him, Alex Schmidt, about this, and he said, well, wasn't he at daycare? Or he was saying it as if he was implying like that maybe the daycare did it. He didn't have any remorse, no empathy, was so stuck on trying to force me to comply with their false narrative they want to create to tarnish my character, my public image, so that if I do try to make it further in the future, people will judge me more on false narratives that they created. Just like these puny obstacle courses that they create for people to jump through so many different hoops. And if you pass the test and you do a good job, they want to try to put something else on your name to force you to play their game again. That's the biggest energy harvest of all time, besides them lying about how people died and passed away to trap their soul spirit, whichever one or both. And then he admits it in the interview, saying like he didn't even catch himself. He was so programmed. Let me play. We're at that part. This is where I left off in the other video, when he said there's a theme of people ignoring me, but he's trying to imply that I'm the one creating this theme, when I have evidence that when really important situations came up that communication should have been had, no one said a word. They all remained silent in unison, from different organizations, different representatives of the organizations. all ignored. And I even tested it by sending the same email. I even put CC'd people and BCC'd myself on some of those, and nobody responded. I even put a video on it to make it easy where they didn't have to read if they didn't feel like reading. He even in the interview said sometimes they don't have to respond back to you. But then I told him, let me do that, and it'll be a whole different tune to the song.
Evident I have it on the email. Like, even you're doing the same thing right now as like seeing me as someone who's just taking it that way. But if it's apparent that if you keep trying to communicate with someone and they don't say anything, they're ignoring you. They're not talking to you.
That's true. There is a point where someone's ignoring you.
And that has happened.
What was the...
They blamed me for our mom's death. So, and
who was doing that?
My family, my sisters. And that's why we have some rivalry. So I say, you know what? Forget it. I won't even deal with this. I don't want to fight. I just stay to myself. I say, it's my responsibility anyways. I'll do it.
Well, I would encourage you to ease up on that. This family is, people have their disagreements. Families fight. That's normal. But
you're telling me to ease up on that. You should be telling them.
I don't talk to them now. I mean, I do some, but I'm not their caseworker.
Right.
I'm just saying, long term.
He's not their caseworker, but he's siding with them, though. Like, almost as if they have him programmed. Because my family, they're very skilled at getting people, like, having this really sweet voice. Like, yeah, I don't know what happened to her. Like, we tried to be there for her. We tried to help her with my son and blah, 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 blah. Like, we even offered to do this. They're very clever. My family, this is the same family that back in the day when I was 10 to 12 years old, my dad saw we had water all in the sink when they came home. I was always the one getting the brunt end of the punishment. Like, not the brunt end, the brunt end of the stick and the main punishment, even for what other siblings did. My other brothers and sisters did. I could be asleep, they being bad because I'm the oldest. I'm getting whooped, woke out of my sleep. My mom, I would ask her a question. I wanted to know more about my biological dad, since it clearly appeared and felt like to me, my stepdad, my dad, we call him my dad, but right now I'm saying my stepdad, since it seemed like I didn't have a close relationship with my stepdad. And he was always, for the most part, most of my interactions with him, I was scared to talk to the man because he has such a nasty attitude. People that watch me doing the games talking, they know what it is. Because one time I was asking God out loud, God, what is his problem? Somebody in a red sweater walking by, and I had it recorded. They took my phone, so I don't have it anymore. And they locked me out of my email that was in the Google Drive. I'm pretty sure Google had a lot to do with helping them to get rid of that stuff. But somebody's walking by in a red sweater that said toxic masculinity. And I was like, you absolutely right. That's what his problem is. He was very toxic. You can't really talk to him. Even the sister that came from his ball sack was cursing his behind out. And she used to go slam the door after cursing my mom and my dad out. Or her dad, I should say, because they don't regard me. He'll say, y'all all my children. you are my daughter. But it's almost like he has to make himself say it so that he can get me to believe that that's what he truly feels. And if he does, that's on him. But I don't feel like he 100% treated me that way. He the one who dislocated my jaw when the water was everywhere in the sink. I get it. It's upset. You come home, your kids, they got stuffed animals in the sink, water spilling all over and stuff like that. That's what I remember. Then they told us that some other people in the Boca Raton apartments where we were, not too far from some elementary school. I can't remember the name of where we stayed, but I remember how it looked. They probably even tore it down or changed it by now because the way these people have been operating. And that was well over 20 years ago, but I'm just thinking about, not well over 20 years ago, but just about 20 years ago. Maybe a little tad bit less than 20 years ago. But they claimed that some people saw us doing things and they listened to what those people said. They didn't even give us a chance to speak and explain ourselves. I was like, what? and then we're getting beat. My dad, he mostly throws everything at me, and my jaw got dislocated. So my mom thought I was playing at first, that I couldn't put my jaw back over, and I was asleep. And when I turned to one side, and if it tried to shift, it was loose. When it tried to shift back to my other ear, it hurt so bad. I was laying down crying. So I had to turn over to the other side and bear that pain. And my mom, she was like, stop that crying. And then she saw herself that she couldn't get my jaw to go back over. So she gave me some medicine. And then that's when the "to whom it may concern" letters came up. And that's when I knew so many children in school are being abused, and they don't have a voice because of these parents and the teachers. I believe some of them know, and they have a feeling, and but it's not their business, they say, and they don't try to get involved because how some of these people can be like, it's my kid and blah 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 blah, like you should mind your own business. Well, yeah, but when it's them, I bet you they don't want nobody to mind their business then if something happening to them. But yeah, so that's when I learned. I even told Christina Shainin this at the Alberta Welfare Office. Now she didn't got promoted into some other department or some other office where she works at. And this was after she introduced Alex Schmidt. She was like, "Oh, we just want to come over. We're just doing a checkup." It was not no checkup. Y'all was trying to create. This was a whole investigation. He dragged out. He confessed. He dragged this investigation out way past where it was supposed to be. It's been at least 158 days. The investigation legally was supposed to be only 60 days. I have an email of the lady who was posing as my attorney. She was doing it as a courtesy, he says. And she had the email she sent out yesterday or the day before saying to him that it's been well over 6 months. So please close this case out. And she sent it after I already went and had a meeting with him, telling me to, if he calls me, like they were so inconsistent. I'll probably show that email on another video to keep this one not too long. But I'm probably going to end this one possibly right here and then start over with another part, because people will see different parts and eventually will find the other ones. And at least I have them all uploaded so people can see the truth of these morons that they have with documents that they could have even possibly ordered online or had somebody soup up for them, or was some preacher's kid that had connections and somebody said, "Oh yeah, I went to school with your dad or your father or your mother, and so I'll just give you good grades. You passed. Like, I'll help you out a little bit." Some of these MFers aren't even qualified. That's why when you go to their jobs, they try to tell you that you're overqualified and don't hire you. And he's a prime example of that. This is lunatic to me.